there was no way to destroy the baby boomers' concept of their childhood, even though it was revealed in a more accurate way than they remember it. But I do wonder, what I was saying, one of the optimistic things is that you seem to be proving or believe that history does not repeat itself, and that there is no way really to predict the future, despite the fact that the powers that be are constantly trying to wrangle this, not just in the stock market, but everywhere.
Well, I think that's the trade the Liberals did. They gave up on the idea of changing the world, and finance said to them, no, we can make the world predictable, because we can read everything that people have done, predict what they're going to do, lend them the right amount of money, and it's a system that worked. It didn't really work, and well, it did until 2008. No, you can't. I mean, the Liberals sort of...
You're very hard on the Liberals, and I have to say that Jane Fonda thing, that's really cool. Yeah, so if anyone's here seen Hypernormalization, one of the great moments in the film is in 1980. Jane Fonda is doing her workout routine, I will not do it. And she gave up on socialism, this was the story of Mad Men, that the revolution dissipates, it's crushed, and we turn towards the inside.
You turn it.
I mean, and I got that. I mean, I do think history repeats itself to some degree in different ways. There's no one who could read Rousseau and look at the French Revolution and see what happens when you end up with Napoleon at the end. I mean, they got rid of their king. They had the revolution. They had the terror, then they had Napoleon.
I don't think history does repeat itself, for precisely a Jane Fonda reason. Jane Fonda is incredibly important historically. She really is. She's the first person who understood that people were becoming, as individuals, because they didn't feel part of something, were turning in on themselves and were also sort of becoming paranoid about what was inside their bodies. That if you couldn't change anything outside, you had to change yourself and make yourself a good person. She saw that and understood it. She also invented the VHS revolution. I mean, she's quite extraordinary, Jane Fonda, in that sense. But what sitting in there is also a message which I think is the great thing that is the great gate that is stopping us going to my optimistic vision of the future, is the baby boomers facing their own mortality. The people that Jane Fonda, starting in the mid-80s, made very health conscious and wanted to make themselves fit, are now facing the fact that they're going to die. They're old. But they have, because they are individuals, but the sort of thing that you were predicting in Mad Men, the sort of thing I was dealing with in The Century of the Self, that there is nothing beyond me. When you face your own death, that's quite scary, because there's nothing beyond you. And that, you know that arch individualist, Ayn Rand? When she was asked towards the end of her death, towards the end of her life, whether she feared death, and she looked at the interviewer and she said, well, I don't fear it, because I'm not going to die. And the interviewer looks at her in this rather puzzled American interviewer way and says, what do you mean? And she says, I won't die, the world will die. And what she means is that if you are an individual, it's all up there. The world lives in there. There's nothing outside you, really. You've turned so much inward, and that's the story of our time, that the world is there. So when you actually come to face the fact that the world is, that you're going to die, you think the whole world's going to die. And I have a snarky little theory that a lot of the doom and apocalypse that we are told about is actually the baby boomer generation projecting their own fears of mortality onto the world, the planet. And the thing that really pisses me off is, when did climate change really come as about 20 years ago? It emerged as a really serious issue.
And they're in denial.
No, they're not in denial. Instead of grabbing it and saying, we can actually use this crisis as a way of changing the world in a really radical way, introducing all sorts of new technologies that can also help people who are poor and don't have good access to good technologies, instead of being optimistic about it and saying, yes, it's a serious crisis, we can do something about this, they just go, oh no, the planet's going to die, we have to hold everything stable. And I just think they're projecting their own fears of mortality. No, it's not me, the planet's going to die. And I just think that was the wrong way. And that's the world we live in.
Well,
a dying hippie's mind. that's the gate that's stopping us going to the future.
I think on that note, thank you so much. Such a pleasure. Thank you for your work. Thank you so much. Oh, I gotta ask you one more thing. Are there people, do you face, we live in a world of like a lot of terror directed towards people who have ideas. Do you have issues with people threatening you? Do you have, on the right, on the left, corporations? Anybody worried that anybody trying to stop Cassandra from talking? No? Great.
One more time to Adam Curtis and Matthew Hayne, everybody. Don't forget this, guys.